last but not least.
Disciplinary matter pursuant to General Laws, Chapter 138, Sections 23 and 63, as to Studio Yak Incorporated, doing business as City Liquors, holder of an all-alcoholic beverages package store license at 620 Cambridge Street for alleged violations of Cambridge Municipal Code Noise Ordinance 8.16.060, measured noise disturbance.
Good evening. Could you please state and spell your names for the record?
My name is Vinod Sikaran, D-I-N-O.
D or V?
B for boy, I-N-O-J. Last name P for Peter, R-A, D for David, H-A-N.
AJ.
N for Nancy. Sorry.
Andrea Boyer, B-O-Y-E-R, Chief Investigator for the City of Cambridge License Commission.
Ms. Boyer, why don't you start with your testimony, please?
Ma'am. On February 5th, 2016, we received a noise complaint from Mr. Alvin Tan.
And here, one second. Do you have a copy of what she's reading?
I am not sure what she's reading, but I could get you one at some point.
Do you have an extra?
I'd like to read right from the report.
Okay. Oh, I didn't know if you had an extra. I just wanted to have it in front of me while you read.
Oh, okay. So February 5th, 2016, we received a report from a Mr. Alvin Tan regarding HVAC units on the rooftop of City Liquors located at 620 Cambridge Street. I have a picture that I'd like to give to you, which shows the locations of units. I performed noise readings to see if those units are in violation on February 9th, 2016. As seen in the picture, unit number 1 showed that it was 57 decibels to 57.6 dBAs. Unit number 2 went on, actually was louder than the other unit, and somewhat, in some ways, kind of, like to say, it was like the dominant source of noise, which was 62.7 to 62.9 dBA. These readings were taken from the second floor of number 8 Fulkerson Street. Since they were a violation of the Cambridge Noise Ordinance, which is daytime and nighttime, I contacted the owner, Mr. Prodden, to let him know that there are violations and what the readings showed. So Prodden put up baffling of the units, and unit number 1 and unit number 2. Just so I can show you that.
So these are new?
That's a new baffling that was put around the units. I performed second readings on March 16th, 2016. Unit number 1 was now out of violation, which showed it was 47.9 to 48.1 dBAs. And the second unit was 55.2 to 55.4, which was still a violation of the nighttime noise ordinance. I contacted the owner again, and he had added Roxol insulation to the interior of the wall. It was at that point that he was going to contact me to let me know that when it was done, I performed new readings on March 20th once that was installed, and the readings came down to 51.7 to 52.0. I let him know that he was very close, but it was still a violation. He said he was going to add another layer of Roxol insulation and possibly a roof top. Based on that information, I told him to watch the live load that's going to be on the roof load, and I contacted Inspectional Services to see if a permit had been pulled to put the structure up. Michael Grove from Inspectional Services told me that a permit had not been pulled to put a structure on the roof. And when Michael Grover checked to see about the refrigeration units, it was found that a permit was not pulled for the refrigeration units either. Michael Grover put a stop order on the work yesterday, so I have not tested to see if the new Roxol has actually brought into where we are right now is it's not in compliance, but the building application is in, but a structural engineer is still pending, and he'll be in on Thursday.
Okay, so he'll be in this Thursday.
Correct.
And provided that they approve whatever it is that they want to do, they'll be able to do it, and then you'll be able to figure out whether or not they are now in compliance based on that?
Yes, it still has to be the inspection for the refrigeration unit as well.
So what is the material that the board is made out of? Is that plywood?
Yes, it's like a 3/8 plywood, just to keep the Roxol intact so it doesn't fly away. So that's all we did was use metal brackets and put a plywood and the rock roll. And
So
that's
you
what
have,
we did.
you have the rock salt sandwich between the two, 3/8? So what you're going to do now is put another layer of rock salt in and move it open again farther?
Yeah, so
To allow-
basically what we did was we added a layer, because before that was a 2-inch rock salt, and that reduced substantially. So what we did was we put another layer of rock salt. And she hasn't done the test since then,
But is that in the same cavity as the
Yes.
first one?
Yes.
It is.
so we put it right in the front, so,
So the rock salt is now covered by something, right? The new layer?
yeah.
It will be. Has anyone looked at the AC unit number 2 to see if there's something?
I had 2 companies come over there, and what they said was, it's a mechanical thing, and sometimes when they manufacture, they cannot get it 100% the same, because one's louder than the other one. So he looked at if the compressor was loose and everything, nothing was loose. So it's just that the way the one unit versus the other unit, one's louder than the other one.
Are they both the same B2 capacity?
Yes, both are the same manufacturer, same
Okay.
same horsepower, everything's same.
So when you talk about now putting a roof on it, you're gonna cover these?
What we did was we didn't put like a roof, we just put like a small piece, because what happened was, as you can see in the picture, it's just basically standing. So what we did was we put a little bit, so
Okay.
that the noise can get deflected, rather
Right.
than just traveling straight up. So we
Because
kinda
you obviously
put
don't want to block the top of those.
That's
did you?
right, so we just did a little bit of it, just to,
Did you do it at an angle or did you do a square?
we just did a square.
Angle is better, by the way.
I'll keep that in mind.
For snow load.
Not only that, but for acoustics.
I'm sorry, you a resident
Yes,
complainant?
ma'am, I'm Alvin Tan.
Is he the resident
complainant.
complainant? I'm sorry, you should have stepped up. Can you please step up and spell your name for the record?
Good evening, my name is Alvin Tan, ALVINTAN.
And Mr. Tan, are you like the next door neighbor to this, or?
Yes, I am. I am the resident that stays at 8 Fulkerson Street, the second floor of the building.
And can you tell us about what you know about this?
Yes, ma'am. I've prepared a statement, and if you would like, I can read the statement to you.
Okay, sure.
Madam Chairperson, respected members of the board, good evening. I'm Alvin Tan, I'm the resident at 8 Fulkerson Street, here in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I'm here to testify my experience living with the noise that's produced by city liquors and its harmful effects that it has had on my health. On December 27th, 2015, I came back to my apartment from a vacation, and when I entered my apartment, I discovered a profoundly loud and disturbing noise coming from outside my window. I realized that the noise was coming from some HVAC units that were installed right outside my window over the fall. Since that day, I've been continually harassed by the noise. I rented my apartment because of its peaceful and quiet surroundings. However, now, the quiet enjoyment of my room has been violated by this noise.
So sir, were these newly added while you were on vacation?
They were added over the fall, but they were not operational.
Okay.
When I came back from my vacation in December, on December 27th, I discovered them to be in operation, and the sound was there. So since then, I've been unable to rest, unable to work in my room, unable to attain proper sleep. I've initially tried to cope with the noise by using rubber earplugs, foam earplugs, even expensive noise-cancelling headphones. However, the sound continues to overpower even these measures. Moreover, the noise has severely affected my physical and mental well-being. It has affected my ability to study and work as a student, as a doctoral candidate at MIT. I've been diagnosed by the MIT medical department as suffering from severe sleep deprivation, with symptoms including daytime irritability, depression, lethargy, and difficulty with focus and concentration. These were the conditions of my health while I was preparing for my doctoral examination in February. And these conditions continue to this day. I have a letter from MIT Medical about my sleep deprivation. If it is in your file, otherwise I'll be happy to provide a copy of that letter. I have a copy with me here. I would like to further state that I am dissatisfied with the handling of this issue by City Liquors. City Liquors has assured me of solutions and timelines that they have not delivered on. I was promised by the owner, Mr. Binod Pradhan, that the noise issue will be fixed by March the 10th. To date, the noise has not been addressed in a satisfactory manner. Instead of addressing the problem at the source by perhaps repairing the offending unit or by replacing it with a quieter model, they have opted to erect a barrier of wood panels held together by duct tape. I would like to formally request City Liquors to take measures that effectively address the root of the problem rather than to build paltry measures that do not effectively address the problem and only result in marginal reductions in noise. On February 23rd, I spoke to Mr. Pradhan, and he told me that in addition to the noise barriers, the units will be repositioned to face away from my window. I understand that he also told Ms. Andrea Boyer of this plan. Later, on March the 9th, I asked Mr. Pradhan if the units are being moved. He told me that, I quote, "It will be a pain in the ass." Furthermore, when I requested that the noisiest unit be turned off so that I can have some relief from the noise, Mr. Pradhan told me, "We can't do that. It will ruin the beer." I would like to emphatically say that City Liquors cannot be allowed to continue to violate my health and well-being in the interest of beer. It is patently unjust and harmful to my well-being for them to continue to violate my well-being and health while they fumble around for an effective solution to the noise. Madam Chairperson and respected members of the board, if I may, I would like to request your office to order City Liquors to turn off their offending unit or cease operations until an effective solution to the noise has been attained. This will provide me with much needed respite from the noise and allow me to recover to a natural state of health. I have been without proper sleep for 3 months now. That's not a single day in the year 2016. It has affected my day-to-day living. And Madam Chairperson and members of the board, I hope you will consider my request. I humbly defer to your opinion. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, sir, have you noticed any decrease in the noise since some of these mitigations have been done?
Between each measure taken, I have not noticed much of a noticeable decrease in the noise. Today, I don't notice a decrease in the noise compared to the previous time Ms. Andrea took a reading.
And for City Liquors, I assume these run 24/7 to keep.
They don't run 24/7, they just run based on what is needed.
But
And
I understand this, but they're liable to cycle at any point to maintain temperature.
yes.
24 hours a day. They don't necessarily run continuously, but
Yeah,
the point is that they're.
Yeah, one thing we did was the unit that was making the most noise, we actually kind of delayed it so it would start only in the next day rather than running in the nighttime. It only starts in the AM. So they said they did the setting with the AM PM when the second unit starts, because at night we didn't need to run both the units. It's only the daytime when people open the door, that's when it needs most. So the one that's made the most noise usually doesn't kick so much on the nighttime, but usually kicks on the daytime. But the one that's the lowest noise, which is at 47, below the 50, is the one that runs at the nighttime. So, and to answer his question, like the day when he came to my liquor store and mentioned the problem, I went to his apartment, knocked on the door, I went inside, he offered me a water, and we together listened to the problem. And I told him, okay, I understand your problem, because the first time when he contacted, because I was not at my business because my grandfather passed away, I used to open up a business, I opened another business, I was so busy with that he left a notice on my business with my employee. I wasn't aware of that. But the second time when he came to my liquor store, he was talking to my employee, and I talked to him, and he said, okay, you got a problem, here's a letter. And he just walks out. I followed him, I went to his apartment, knocked on his door, I said, hi, I introduced myself. He brought me all the way up on the second floor. He showed me the noise, and I said, I'm willing to work with you. Since then, I've been on the roof every time, finding a solution to his problem immediately, like putting metal brackets, putting insulation board. I've been in touch with Andrea. Andrea had been like helping me with what you need to do. I did all the necessary steps that to block the noise from him. So I have not spent not a less day helping to reduce the noise. So I've been on top of this. Every time I did something, I contacted Andrea, can you do a check? And she has been coming on Sundays, checking it. And the last time when we had just a little bit above 51, I told her that I'm gonna do double layer. I put a plywood, I put a rooftop, and after that she hasn't come because that was just done last Sunday. So from my side, I've been on top of this. And like she was saying, that one of the units at 47, the other one unit at 51. So I've been on top of this every day to help reduce this noise.
So the noisy unit, how long has it been since you put it on daytime only? Unit number 2, you've changed it so it doesn't run at night.
Yeah, so the unit number 1 is the one that that's the most noise. It's supposed to turn on in the morning around like 7. After that, it kind of runs through the day. But the unit number 2, which is the 47 one that she measured, runs 24 hours.
How long since you made the change to turn off the noisy one at night?
That's been from, I would say, Friday or Saturday. I'm not sure on that.
Of
but
this last week?
yeah, last week. And so the second layer that I put it was on Monday. In the snow day, by the way. When we had the snow, I still contacted my contractors. I said, listen, I need this thing done. I had them on the roof. I put the layer, and I emailed her saying that I did these things, and I sent an email so if she could get some time to come and check it, to reduce that 51 to less than 50.
I'm sorry, Ms. Boyer, what exactly did ISD put a stop on?
They need to have a structural engineer for what has been put up, the boards and so forth, that they put that up, but they need to approve it. There's no, from what Michael Grover stated, that goes all the way down to the roof line. So any wind and so forth, and for him to put a partial cover over that, which happened in another situation, almost creates a perfect wind, so to pull it off, and they didn't want to be responsible for that. So they need the structural engineer to approve that piece before or take it apart.
So there's 2 facets, one of which is the dead load on the roof and the issue of wind safety, making sure it is not going to come off as we're checking out. And that's probably not a very long, time-consuming thing for an engineer to.
Just to keep on that note, the guy who actually did the installation was a contractor who has a lot of experience. He's been doing it for 30 years. He looked at the joist and he said the load that we put in should not be a factor. But then the building, he pulled a permit, but the building inspector wants a structural engineer just to get an affidavit. So which I actually contacted him. He's going to be here on Thursday at 1:30, and by just looking at it, he's going to give us his opinion on if that's okay or not, and he can give us an affidavit immediately.
Regardless of the contractor's experience, what they need on there is a professional engineer's stamp
Yeah, stamp.
that
Yeah.
certifies
So
that.
that's why I already have him on schedule. This Thursday he's coming at 1:30. His name is Bombard Lee, structural engineer.
I'm sorry, can you say it one more time?
Bombard Lee. And he's coming on this Thursday at 1:30 to inspect the joist and to approve that. So I'm on top of I've been on top of this every day.
What have you done to keep the rock salt from getting wet?
Rocksoil is waterproof.
You're using the fiber or the rigid board?
We're using the fiber.
Okay.
And Andrea suggested, she gave me what do you call the specification of the rock salt to use on the roof because she has in the past experience with it. So she told me this is the rock salt you gotta use. And I did ask her if there was waterproof, and she said yes, they were waterproof. That's why I went Home Depot, got the rock salt, verified with the Home Depot people that it was waterproof also, and he did mention on it. So we put that in.
Can I add to that, please? I would like to say that if there's any work done since Sunday, I am not aware of it because it has qualitatively not resulted in any detectable reduction in noise. Also, I still do hear the sounds going on and off at night, and it's preventing me from sleeping. So So it does not make sense to me to hear that the noisier unit has a change cycle.
And for the record, the initial putting of these on the roof, was that approved? The permits get pulled for that?
No. That is what's also pending with Frank Chu from the Inspectional Services Department. I think the gentleman was going to speak with him today, but I have not gotten word whether or not it was pulled or not.
So I spoke with Fred this morning, and I spoke with the temperature control who's been doing business for 40 years. They're well around on all the restaurants. He works in Cambridge. His name is Frank. He does all pretty much most of the restaurant in Cambridge. And I asked him, did you pull a permit? And he says, in my past 40 years of my experience, a conditioned unit, a lesser than 10 ton, which is only 6 horsepower, 5-ton unit, he has never pulled a permit, and he doesn't see where he needs to pull a permit for a condenser unit for a restaurant, a convenience store. He said they always change this machine every time. When it goes bad, they put a new one up. And he said in his 40 years of experience, he never pulled. I hired the right people to do the right thing. He's the one, temperature control, which is licensed, a mechanical company, and they put that in. I did not put that in. They are the ones who put that in. And I contacted him, and I told him that Frank is looking for him, the plumbing inspector, and he said he would contact him. So I don't know if he has done or not, but from my side, I've done what a homeowner should do, is hire the right people, the right licensed people to do their part.
At the very least, they would have had a pull electrical permit, because they...
Yes, we have the electrical permit. By the way, we have the electrical permit. You can call the electrical inspector because he was the one who actually checked all those units on the roof. So we have the electric permit. I have him sign off on it also, on the addition on this. So I have done all from my side as a homeowner, hiring the right people to do their thing. So I was not aware of the noise ordinance. Honestly, God, I never knew about the ordinance for the noise. It was the mechanical people that were supposed to do that, and I hired the right people to do the things. So
I find that sorry, may I speak?
If you have anything else to add, sure. But
Yes, ma'am. I find that the argument that the right people have been hired to be a very specious argument, because if that is the case, then why then is there a violation in the first place, and why then has there not been a satisfactory reduction in noise?
So you do know that there's X amount of noise under the noise ordinance that is allowable. So if these systems drop below the levels, you probably still will hear noise that may be legal noise under our noise ordinance.
Ms. Andrea Boyer has informed me of that.
Okay.
One more thing. If you can see, not who has the picture, but the other 4 units that are not on yet.
the ones in the back over here.
Correct. Those have not cycled on because they're only for air conditioning, cooling, but that could be part 2 of a problem.
Oh, because these will be on in the summer.
yeah, and she did mention that to me, and I acknowledge that there's 4 units on that. We have a permit for that. It's right here. I have all the permits that's been inspected. It's right here. It says clearly right here, HVAC unit for the additional. I have done, for that one, it has been done. Like I said, I hired the right people to do this stuff. The refrigeration guy said in his 40 years of working in this business industry, he has never pulled a permit to put a condenser unit on the roof. Yes, I was aware of HVAC unit that you need a permit. We hired the right people to do it. They did it, they signed off. I have all the permits right here, copy of it. So the only thing that was not pulled permit was 2 condenser unit that was on the roof for the refrigeration. And he's aware of it now, and I told him to contact the inspector immediately, so.
How long have you had these cooling units there?
Which one?
The four that won't go on until summer.
That's been over a year now. Because 2 were existing, because they used to be a dance studio on the second floor, 2 used to be on the roof, and we added 2 more because we converted the dance studio into apartments, and that's why there was 2 more units added to it. But they are smaller in size for horsepower because the unit that was there before used to do, 2 units used to do the whole place. So now when we added the 2 more units, they are small size because they are only 2.5 ton units. Whereas this ones that he's complaining about are 6 horsepower. And like I was telling Andrea, so when that kicks in, we will do a noise reading. I'll let her know, and if that needs to be addressed, we're going to address that immediately.
I mean, quite frankly, based on everything here, I would like to take this under advisement and try and figure out exactly from ISD. I mean, they're there, they're supposed to be there on Thursday, kind of get a little more information and consider whatever they bring back to us before we take any action on this. That would be my inclination with regard to this situation.
And I told Mike Gruber that on Thursday, once I get the structural engineer, the affidavit, I'm going to see him immediately.
So once you get the structural engineer okay, and assuming you can add the additional rock salt, then
I already did the additional stuff.
you did.
Yeah.
No, he
That's
did
right.
everything, it just hasn't been permitted or.
The only thing, what happened was, as you know, it's very hard to get mechanical people, architects, structural engineers to pick up their phone. When I call them, like even with him, I called in front of him numerous times, and finally the guy picked up one time, and I put him on a speakerphone. The guy who actually put the unit never picked up the phone. The other guy actually picked up the phone who came to do the test. Finally, the guy that, after I called the temperature control, I said, listen, the city inspector is looking for you. You better answer my call. He answered, he called back. So he's gonna be in touch with Frank, the plumbing inspector. And like I said, I'm getting on top of this. I'll do everything by the code because we already put a permit for the building, and I have that. And I don't know if he has it, but I have the building permit right now.
I don't find that to be believable.
Sir, unless you have
I'm sorry.
any facts to add, I understand what your position is. And at this point, I think we
Yes,
get
ma'am.
it, and unless you have any other facts, I think we're all set with regard to testimony, unless the commissioners have any further questions.
I have no further questions.
No questions.
Okay, so I vote to take this under advisement.
Second.
Okay, so we'll take it under advisement. Thank you.
Thank you.